Yo, what's good, man? This is MBS Central. Let's talk about it, man. I'm your host, Keo. Obviously, um, the person next to me is not True X, the sports junkie. So, True, he's going through, a major injury that he's dealing with right now. So, he's gonna be, he'll be out for this week. I can't promise you that he'll be back um to the following week. I'm not sure what's going on, but he'll definitely keep us updated. So I had to bring somebody on, and I hope True gets better, man. But because
Yep.
I do miss my partner. But with that being said, I got MBS member from the Bragging Rights show. He Make sure you check out his show. He talks about a lot about college football, a lot about college basketball. So you want to get some insight on that. He's the man to tell you more about it, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
First of all, thank you for allowing me to come on this show. I personally watch this show all the time. I love it. I'm Golden Blue Dude, of course. I host Bragging Rights, usually on Thursday nights. Sometimes it's on Tuesday nights, but most of the time, Thursday nights. But that's me, Golden Blue Dude. Check it out. I will be on tomorrow evening, and I appreciate Keo for inviting me on to his show. I consider him a friend by now.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you. Definitely appreciate it. Um, so we do got to get this show on the road. We have a lot to discuss about. From we know the Super Bowl is this Sunday.
Ooh.
We also have there was a huge trade in the NFL. Also, we're gonna talk about some wrestling. We're gonna talk some NBA. Um, we're gonna talk about the college football game that came out that fans are very actually excited about.
Hmm.
So we got a lot to talk about tonight, but we're gonna get this show on the road, man. MBS, let's talk about it is now. Make sure you tune in and subscribe to the channel and go follow us. So let's start off with our first topic for tonight, man, and we're gonna talk about what happened yesterday between the Lakers and Hawks game. The Lakers won that game, obviously, but the storyline of the game was some lady named Courtside Karen. She's actually an Instagram model. She was going off on LeBron. Ends up getting kicked out. Ends up getting kicked out of the game. Man. So what did you think about that, man? Do you think she deserved to get kicked out of the game after that incident?
Well, before I render my verdict, there's a couple of things that I need to know. Number one, did she touch any of the players? Because to my knowledge, she did not lay a finger on any of the players. I could be wrong, but from what I've seen, she hasn't. Number two, what exactly was she saying? Because if she was just talking trash, even cussing, whatever, that's part of it. That's part of the fan experience. So I gotta. I'm asking, did she actually do anything that would warrant an ejection? Because talking trash doesn't warrant an ejection. I mean, was she getting in their faces? Did she touch one of them? Did she threaten their family? Did she make a racial slur? What's the what actually happened there?
Um, so I don't know what happened. Um, there was an incident, but according to her, because she went on an Instagram rant about it with with the husband and LeBron, and then she just came out of nowhere and just started running her mouth, man. And I think the thing that people made a big deal about it was she was cussing and it's getting up on the stands with her mask off. I mean, I, but I don't think she should have gotten kicked out of the game. Um, Even LeBron said it himself. He said she shouldn't have gotten kicked out of the game, and I thought she shouldn't have gotten kicked out of the game. I think they should have gave her a warning and let her know that, hey, this is you can't do this, man. You gotta have your mask on also. So I thought she shouldn't have gotten kicked out. Obviously, she got roasted on social media by, I mean, LeBron took a shot of her. The NBA fans took a shot at her. Even some celebrities took a shot at her. Guys like Drake took a shot at her also. So I don't think I don't think she should have gotten kicked out. She did apologize though. She said, that behavior was unacceptable. So I'm glad that she actually owned up to it. But kicking her
Yeah.
out, I don't think that should have happened.
Yeah. Well, now that I pretty much know everything, I agree with you. If they kicked her out on the premise that she wasn't wearing her mask, then just give her a warning and be like, if you take it off again, you will be kicked out. And then if you decide to make that decision, then you know you're going to get kicked out. You can't just kick people out on stuff you're making up off the top of your head, because then going to a game, you're like, all right, what can I do? Do I just, sit here like I'm in church and, just cheer whenever they score and keep my mouth shut if they're doing bad? They have, as a fan, you have to know what you can and what you can't do. And if you do and you didn't know you weren't supposed to do it, get a warning. And then if you make that decision to do it again, then you get kicked out. So yes, I agree with you. She should not have been kicked out. But the thing is, here's the thing.
Okay.
Now that social distance ticketing, there's not as many fans around, so now it's going to be more visible out in the open. So I just think they were trying to make an example out of her. That's what I think. I don't agree with it, but I think that's what they were trying to do.
Okay. Best of luck to the female, the Instagram model. Obviously, best of luck to the Lakers. Obviously, they don't need any type of luck at all when it comes to what they've been doing this past season. So
Yep.
let's move on over to our very next topic. We're gonna talk about the NBA power rankings, man. The power rankings. We give our power rankings every single week. Um, so I'll start things off with my power rankings. So I'm gonna start it off with number five for me. Number five for me, I'm gonna go. Even though this team has the best record in the league, I'm going with the Utah Jazz at number five. I think the they're a very solid team. They've been playing well. They've been shooting lights out, man. And they Donovan Mitchell, man, he's been going ham as of late, man. He had a huge game against Dallas. Um, and then Mike Conley's been stepping it up. Uh, uh, guys like um, guys like Rudy Gobert's been stepping it up. Defense has been definitely huge for this team. So shout out to the Utah Jazz. I got them at number five. Number four, I'm rolling with the Denver Nuggets at number four, man.
Oh,
The Denver Nuggets, I like what I see from this team. Jokic has been balling, man. He's a double double machine. He's on a streak. I think 11 games with 20 or more points. I think he's in a career high in minutes right now, and that dude could do everything. So I like me some Jokic. I do want to see more from Jamal Murray though. So I think if Jamal Murray could get it going like in the bubble, the playoff bubble from earlier, I think they could do some damage. So I got them at number four. Number three for me, man, this is gonna be a surprise, a shock. My number three team in my power rankings. I got the Los Angeles Lakers at number three. And people may say, hey, man, they should be number one. No, they shouldn't be number one. Don't get it twisted, man. The Lakers still have the number one defense. They held Boston to just 17 points on 22 possessions in the fourth quarter, escaping with a 1 point victory on Saturday. The Lakers are 3-1 in four in their 3-1 in the past four games. They rank in the top 10 against field goal percentage on defense efficiency. But they struggle on games that they should be blowing teams out. They even lost to the Detroit Pistons. So I got the Lakers at number three. AD has been struggling. I think he's been missing the past couple of games. So I got him at number three. Number two for me, I'm going with the Philadelphia 76ers, though. Philadelphia 76ers, even though they did blow a 12-point lead in less than 3 minutes on Wednesday, I like what I see from the Sixers. Joel Embiid has been a beast, man. We talk about Embiid a lot. People talk about, Ben Simmons, but let's talk about Tobias Harris. He's been a huge factor throughout this stretch for this team, and great job, Doc Rivers, since he's been in Philadelphia. So I got Philadelphia at number two, and my number one team that I got the Los Angeles Clippers at number one, and I understand, yes, they did lose to Brooklyn, but Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, the best 1-2 punch, one of the best 1-2 punches in the league, and both of them are shooting better than 50% from the field, 40% from 3-point range, 90 from the line, and they ripped off 9 out of those 10 last games, man. They've been huge, man. They've outscored their opponents by at least 19 points on 100 possessions. So I like what I see from the Clippers. They got some huge role players that's been stepping up. Guys like Reggie Jackson. They were pretty solid during the time when Kawhi and Paul George were out. So I like the Clippers at number one, and those are my Power 5 rankings from this past week.
That's not bad. You threw me a few curveballs in there, but let me give you my top five in my Power 5 rankings. Number 5, I'm going to have Brooklyn. You have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden somehow coexisting together and coexisting pretty nicely. They've won 5 of their last 6. They're getting on a roll. They're getting hot at the right time, and that's why I have Brooklyn as my 5th best team in the NBA. Number 4, I have Utah. Utah is a good team. People don't realize they've won 12 out of their last 13. This team is on fire. Look, they don't have an all-star lineup. They don't have, household names, stuff like that, but the guys get it done, and they can shoot the ball really well, and that's what you need. You need guys that can shoot the ball well and that are clutch, and that's what Utah has right now. And, they're number 1 in the West. So, yes, I have Utah number 4. Number 3, I have Philadelphia. They're number 1 in the East. They're on a 3-game winning streak right now. I like Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. That dude is a beast. Like, I knew that he was good, but this year, it might be just me, but this year it looks like he's stepped up to a whole new level. That dude, I have tremendous respect for him. And, throw in Dwight Howard. I know he doesn't do much, but he chips in every once in a while. I like Philadelphia. Number 1 in the East. I have to have them at number 3. So, number 2, the LA Clippers. These top 2 might not make a lot of sense to people because they're not first in each conference. The Clippers, number 2 in the West. Of course, they have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, but those bench players prove that even when their stars go down, they can back them up and carry the load. And they've won 10 out of their last 12. So, that proves to me that the Clippers don't necessarily have to have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, at their A game to win games. Maybe one or both are having an off night, and those bench players step it up a notch, and the Clippers keep winning. But I have them at number 2. Of course, number 1, the 3rd place team in the West, the Lakers. Why do I have the Lakers at number 1? Well, because they're the best defensive team in the league, specifically the fourth quarter. They know how to shut people down. And how do you win championships? Well, you wear them down, and then in the fourth quarter, you put that foot on the neck. And that's exactly what the Lakers do. Anthony Davis hasn't quite been himself, but what if he's saving something? What if he's saving something and we get to the playoffs and they do what they did last year? They dominate, they win another title, and oh, yes, to quote Ric Flair, in order to be the man, you have to beat the man. The Lakers are number one.
Okay. All right. You're just. Um, I think you've been taking, drinking the haterade that you got from True. I definitely don't have the Lakers at number one. Okay. So let's move
You
on
just picked
over
them,
to.
right? One spot.
Yeah, you're right. All right. Let's move on over to our very next topic, and this is MBS. Let's talk about it. We talk more than just sports when it comes to it. So our very next topic we're gonna talk about some wrestling. Um, huge event this past weekend, which was the Royal Rumble. Just to give you guys a quick update, the men's Royal Rumble was won by the rated R superstar Edge. The women's Royal Rumble was won by Bianca Belair. Just a couple sidebars. Also, Drew McIntyre was able to retain his title and beat Goldberg. Goldberg, yes, I said it. Goldberg. He beat Goldberg in a very interesting match. Roman Reigns ends up retaining his title also against Kevin Owens, which was probably the best match on that card, man. I love that match. People that I know that barely watch wrestling, they saw that match and they loved every second of it. So that match definitely has a lot of replay value, especially going through COVID and them being in the Thunderdome. It was a really good match, and I definitely loved it. But with that being said, what I wanted to ask you was regarding our wrestling segment. Edge winning the Royal Rumble, man. Who do you think he should face? Should he go after Drew McIntyre as he confronted him on Monday Night Raw, or should he go after the big dog, Roman Reigns, man? What do you think?
Well, I went over this back and forth. Initially, I thought it would be a better storyline with Drew McIntyre, especially with the face off. But honestly, I like heel Roman Reigns and Edge going at it. I think that would be a very intense match. I think that could be a win-win for the WWE too, because you know a lot of people are buying into this new Reigns, but of course everybody likes Edge. So no matter who wins that match, I don't think that the WWE could lose out. I think the fans would be invested. I think it would kind of be like old school versus new school. McIntyre is newer, but if you've watched wrestling long enough, he's had several runs. He was the chosen one, 10, 15 years ago. So he's not completely new school. Roman Reigns is. So I like the old school Edge versus new school Roman Reigns, and the heel flip that Reigns has done puts an extra layer to it. I would really love to see that matchup. What do you think?
As far as this matchup goes, if I had to pick, as far as Edge goes, I'm going with Roman Reigns. Are you kidding me? That's the matchup that I want. That one has replay value. That you could hype up and build that match in so many ways. Even though he did confront Drew, I think it makes a lot of sense with Edge and Roman Reigns. I just don't think it gets any better than that. There's no matchup that you could really think of when it comes to for Roman Reigns, and I think that's the matchup that makes completely sense right now because I think Roman's pretty much gonna be finishing up with his feud with KO, and I think that the next best thing is Roman Reigns and Edge, man. I think a build up will be coming soon, and I think Edge is gonna go with Roman Reigns.
I'll add to that, man. I love what you just said. Okay, if you could, out of the entire roster, and I was thinking about that just now when you said those words, the best matchup you can think of. Think of the entire roster. I can't think of a better matchup with anybody, not just with Edge, not with just Roman Reigns. I think Edge versus Roman Reigns is the best matchup, and it's the matchup that people need and want right now.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think that is the matchup. Roman Reigns versus Edge. All right, let's go to let's give some props to the women's Royal Rumble and Bianca Belair. I didn't see that coming at all. That
Mm-mm.
surprised me. But it was a good move in a good direction though. So I want to see how they go with this. So Bianca Belair, man, who should she go after? Should she go after Asuka or should she go after Sasha Banks?
I've been following Belair since she started out in NXT, and she dominated NXT. I mean, she was a powerhouse. Since they brought her up to the main roster, she's done well, but not in dominating form. So, like you said, this was a surprise. I did not expect Belair to get a push right at this exact moment, but I think it's a good move. Having said that, I think the best matchup for her would be Sasha Banks. I think Sasha Banks would. I think their styles fit each other. I think they would. I think they would sell for each other quite nicely. I think they would bump for each other quite nicely. I think the match would flow. I think the storytelling could be epic. Don't get me wrong. Asuka is a good wrestler. Let me say that clearly. Asuka is a good wrestler, but I don't think she's a good storyteller. I believe she deserves to be the WWE champion on Raw, but her storytelling is lacking. And I know her English is getting better, and her storytelling will get better in the future. But right now, as far as storytelling goes, I think Belair needs to pick Sasha Banks.
Yeah, it makes definitely sense. I think Sasha will bring the best out of her, even building up to this match also, and I think fans will definitely love this matchup between Sasha and Belair leading to WrestleMania. So I think she's gonna choose that route. And with Asuka, I have no idea what the WWE have plans for her moving forward. I don't know, man. I would love to see a feud between her and Alexa Bliss, but I heard there's a rumor that Becky Lynch might be coming back to take back what's rightfully hers that she never lost. So I I think this is gonna be interesting though, man. So
Hey,
I,
hey, think
I'm
about this. What if WWE set up a feud? Now they keep Becky Lynch, in the wings. She's coming to get what she wants. All right, that's coming. But until then, what if they set up a feud between Asuka and the NXT champion? I think that would be an excellent crossover brand. I think their wrestling styles are similar. They're foreign. They both know each other's style. I think that would be a good kind of international feud that could be started, told, and finished, and then bring in Becky Lynch to take back what is rightfully hers.
okay. Yeah, that does make sense though. I just don't think it's gonna happen though. I just think WWE they have plans for the NXT champion. I just don't think they're gonna go to that route.
Their
But I'm
writers
looking
are
for
not as good as they used to be either.
but but I'm looking forward to WrestleMania, man. It is gonna be in Raymond James Stadium. Hopefully they're gonna allow fans to attend this event with this much magnitude. So I want to see what they got in store for WrestleMania this year, working through COVID-19. All
Right.
right, man. So that's it for our wrestling segment. So we're gonna do our next topic, and we are gonna talk about huge news. No, I'm not talking about the PS5 restock. Nope, I'm not talking about the Xbox Series restock. I'm talking about the return of NCAA the college football game, man. Fans were going berserk over this. EA Sports has confirmed it. They announced it. The game is gonna be dropping on these new consoles on PS5 or on the Xbox Series. So man, I when I heard about it, I thought it was fake news. Then when I seen people posted about it more, I was like, oh man, it's really happening. So man, um, the NCAA college football game. I know you cover college football. So what was your reaction when you first heard about this?
Well, immediately I did a video. So you know when Golden Blue Dude does a video on his YouTube channel, then the news is real and it is great. My reaction, dude, I had no words for it. Like I didn't like you said at first I was like, "What? That's not right. Come on." I was like, but then I looked at ESPN and everybody was reporting it. So I was like, "All right, man, I'm going to roll with that." I did a video on it and then after I did the video, that's when it really sunk in because you know me. Once I'm in video mode, it's lights out. Then I get out of video mode and I really start to think about it. I was like, wait a minute, this hasn't been in existence for 7 years. The last time there was an NCAA football game, the playoffs didn't even exist. So now they can add this new scenario of taking your team to the playoffs, getting a bid. Like, how is that going to work out? Are they going to have a playoff panel on the game, and then they're going to select who they think the best games are, and then you play the game, and you think the panel on the game screws people over? I mean, they can go, they can go in so many different directions that it's awesome, man. It's funny, but it's awesome at the same time. I really hope they do put in a playoff panel in there, and they do screw teams over because if you want to make it as realistic as possible, you have to screw teams over.
Yeah, I like what you just said right now. That is kind of funny. But I'm looking forward to this game, man. I'm a big gamer, especially when it comes to sports. College football, the college football game was probably one of my favorite games. I think the last college football game was able to get was when they had RG3 on the cover with the during his time in Baylor.
Yeah. Man.
So I looked forward to I look forward getting the college football game every single year when it came out, man, and I just loved it, man. Like playing with different teams, the different styles of offense, the playbooks that they have, the stadiums,
Oh
the
yeah.
jerseys, of course. So man, I'm definitely looking forward to this. I want to see what they got in store. EA has in sports, so yeah, if they're gonna bring it back, I think they're gonna do it big. So I'm definitely excited for it, and I'm definitely gonna be copping that, man.
Let me ask you a
College.
question. If they came out with it for this coming year, who should cover it?
If they came out this coming year, who
It's going
should
to be a
cover
year,
it?
so it's not going to be this year. But if it were to come out like this summer, who should be on the cover?
As much as I hate to say it, it's gonna be Trevor Lawrence. If it came out this year, it's gonna be Trevor Lawrence. As much as I hate to say that, because Trevor Lawrence
Mac
is
Jones. Mac Jones.
no, nah. Trevor Lawrence, he's a high profile name. Everybody knows this guy from the NFL to the college football world. And if you ask, not like the experts like us when it comes to college football, if you ask, even let's just say let's talk to the guys that just follow the NFL. If you ask somebody, hey, what you think about the NFL draft? Oh man, I like me some Trevor Lawrence. That's the first thing they're gonna say. I don't think they're gonna say Mac Jones. I don't think they're even gonna say Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
I think they're just Trevor Lawrence, man. I think it's a name that attracts people, and it'll get the buyers to buy that game. So I would say Trevor Lawrence.
What about going into the next year? Like as far as covering it going into the 2021 season, not what has happened in 2020, but who you think should cover it for the 2021 season.
Oh man, that's a good one. Um, if there's a player that should cover it in the 2020-21 season, I'm gonna say, man, I'm gonna say Spencer Rattler, man.
I like it, man. But
Yeah.
honestly, I think Spencer Rattler, Levi Lewis, or Malik Willis. I know they're in Group of Five, but man, those two guys were freaking awesome. Levi Lewis out of Louisville or Louisiana, and Malik Willis out of Liberty. Those two cats were awesome.
Yeah, man. I think those are the guys that could probably be featured on it. Um, but but yeah, man. So NCAA college football the games comes out, and I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I just can't wait, man. All right,
Absolutely.
so let's move on over to what's gonna happen this Sunday. Um, I'm looking forward to it. I'm pretty sure you are.
Oh yeah.
According from your last show, it is the Super Bowl 55. We got Chiefs versus Buccaneers. We got Brady versus Mahomes. Man. So before we actually even get to our predictions, let's do keys to victories. So since since Brady's your dog, I'm gonna let you give three keys of victories. What the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to do in order for them to win this game, and then I'll give you my keys to victories. What the Chiefs have to do to in order to win the Super Bowl this upcoming Sunday. So let's
Well,
go.
I think the first thing that they have to do, and we kind of saw that in the Packers game, is not play scared. Play loose. Play your game. Let Tom Brady do what he does. Tampa Bay is, well, I'm not going to say Tampa Bay. Tom Brady is not known for, trying to chuck the deep ball. He doesn't have that strong of an arm. I mean, he'll chuck one every once in a while, but what his thing is, those under routes, those crossing routes, the post routes, all that stuff, and don't be scared. Don't try to, back off whenever you have momentum. Because a lot of teams, for some reason, whenever they play Kansas City, they get scared of messing up because they know if they turn the ball over, Kansas City's right there and they're going to take advantage. So first key, don't play scared. Play loose. Play confident. And with Tom Brady, I think that plays right into Tampa Bay's hands. The second thing is with the defense, keep everything in front of you. Kansas City is good at the long ball. So you can't let them chunk you out on those 20 and 30-yard passes. And, make sure to protect that run as well. But play them safeties, I'd say probably 20, 25 yards out. Not too far back, but keep everything in front of you. Make Kansas City settle for field goals. Try to keep them out of that red zone because once Kansas City is in the red zone, it's pretty much a touchdown. You might as well just chalk it off as a touchdown. Next thing is, and this is going to sound weird, be accurate on your field goals. Every point is going to matter in this game. And I've already given my prediction, and I'm going to give the same prediction. I'm not going to say it right now. I save it for the end. But part of that prediction was the field goal kicking game. And I think Tampa Bay does have a slightly better kicking game. I think Kansas City has a little more range with their kicker, but Tampa Bay's is a little more accurate. And I think that will fall right into their hands because when you play Kansas City, I know touchdowns are the best, and you need as many touchdowns as you can against Kansas City, but every point matters. When you have an opportunity to kick a field goal, make it.
Okay, keys to victory for the Kansas City Chiefs. um, the keys to victory for the Kansas City Chiefs is the first thing they need to do that they haven't done is establish a running game because it's gonna be a grinded out game when it comes to Tampa Bay, because they're gonna try to keep um Mahomes off the field as much as possible. So they're gonna have to establish a running game. If it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire, if it's Darrell Williams, they gotta find a way to make it happen. And I think it's gonna be huge during crunch time for them to establish a running game. Number two, man, they're gonna have to contain Tom Brady in this game, man. And that's it. Brady's been having his way. Hasn't been having his best games, but when it counts, when he needs to make a play, when he needs to make a throw, that's he, that's huge for him, man, and he makes it happen. So I think they're gonna have to contain Tom Brady in this game, and then my final key to victory in this game, I think it's gonna be the coaching in this one. I think the coaching is gonna be huge in this game because it's gonna be a chess match between Arians and Andy Reid, and we're gonna see who who um who checks who in this game because it's gonna be like, oh, you could do this better, well, I could do this better between Andy Reid and Bruce Arians, and the coordinators that they got, the offense coordinators they got with Eric Bieniemy and Byron Leftwich, man, two guys that I think should be getting some head coaching considerations. So I think those are my keys to victory for both of those teams. So Mr. Sports Junkie, he is not with us, but he is in the comment section. I'm not gonna post something that he said is a huge key to victory, and he says, um, um, Butker over Ryan Suckup.
Range, yes. Accuracy, no.
Oh yeah. But I would take Harrison Butker over Ryan Suckup. Um, a lot of people don't like Suckup. I don't know. I think he's a very underrated kicker, but Butker, I think he's the top of the kickers when you talk about the top kickers in the league.
I understand that, but look at crunch time. Look at how much the Buccaneers have actually depended on Succop. He is 8 for 8 in the postseason. I don't care what he did in the regular season. I look at what they do in the postseason under pressure. They have made him go out on the field and kick a field goal 8 times during the playoffs. And guess what? He made every stinking one of them. They're not all necessarily long field goals. I mean, his long was 46, whatever. But he nailed it. He drilled it every time. That's 3 points every time. That's 24 points he's responsible for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the postseason. So I will take quality over distance anytime.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a chance to respond to true. And he says,
Oh, that's yeah, I get you, but I live in the now. He hasn't played with a guy like Tom Brady. People forget that Tom Brady affects everybody. He affects his offense, wide receivers, running backs, offensive line, defense, and kickers. When Tom Brady is confident, and when is he not, that translates to everybody. His confidence seeps into everybody, and that's why I like Sukuk better in this particular game.
all right. All right, so let's continue on to this. We just gave you the keys to victories. The keys to victories for both teams. We're gonna give our Super Bowl predictions soon. Later this week, before the Super Bowl, man. MBS Central, we've got with the whole MBS crew. We got with War Room Sports. We got up with the Rise Up Family Network to do a combined compilation video of the everybody's Super Bowl predictions. It's gonna be posted on the MBS Central page on and the Facebook Watch page on Instagram also. So make sure you check out for everybody's predictions of who they had winning the Super Bowl. But so that will be before the Super Bowl that video dropping. But what we're gonna be talking about right now. We're gonna do our checklist. We do that every single year. We did it with the college football national title game. So we're gonna do it now with this year's Super Bowl, man. So we're gonna go through the positions, and you're gonna tell me who you give the advantage to. So let's start off with the checklist number one, and we're gonna go to offensive line. Who you give the advantage to?
I actually give the advantage to the Buccaneers because we forget that Tom Brady is not mobile. Yes, Mahomes, he's not technically a dual threat, but Tom Brady, he's pretty much a statue now. I mean, he can step up when he needs to, but they've protected him fairly well considering he has no mobility. I think if you switch quarterbacks and lines, it might be a different story, but with Tom Brady not being able to necessarily get out of the pocket, I think the offensive line advantage goes to the Bucks. And who has the better running game? The Bucks.
Yeah, I'm going with Tampa Bay also. Tristan Wirfs was a huge pickup in the draft. That was clutch. I think they traded down. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they traded down to go after Christian Wirfs, and it has played dividends for this team.
They planned around Brady. That was on purpose.
Yeah, and then the offensive line for the Chiefs, they may not even play, man. So that's a huge advantage for Tampa Bay automatically.
Yep.
So I'm giving the checklist to Tampa Bay. So let's go switch it over. Let's go to the defense. We're gonna go grade the whole defensive unit. I'm not talking about no cornerbacks, safeties, linebackers, the whole defensive unit. Who you give the advantage to?
Well, whenever you do grade the whole defense, you do have to break it down. But I'm not going to compare position by position, but we're going to add it up. How about that? So the defensive line, I have to give to the Bucks. They have more. They just have more beef up front. I like their line. They get more pressure. I think they could give Mahomes more trouble, but I'll say in the safety, in the secondary position, I got to give that to the Chiefs, led by the Honey Badger. I think the Chiefs have a better secondary. That's not to say the Bucks don't have a good one. They do. I just think the Chiefs are a little bit better. So for me, the tiebreaker would be in the linebacker position, and I think Tampa Bay don't necessarily have better linebackers per se. I think they have more playmakers at the linebacker position. So overall, I have to give the check to the Bucks. because of the tiebreaker, the linebackers. I think the Chiefs have a better secondary, and I think the Bucks have a better defensive line. The tiebreakers, the linebackers goes to the Bucks.
Okay, defense. Um, I'm going with the Bucks also, man. I think that the Chiefs secondary is a liability, and I think um their first matchup, the Chiefs did win, but in the second half, Brady and the Bucks made a comeback, man, and the Chiefs secondary, they were vulnerable, man. Spagnola had no answer for Brady and that offense. So I'm giving the edge to the Bucks, man. Devin White, man, that dude has been
Oh yeah,
huge, man. Devin White has been all over the field. I'm surprised he hasn't been even selected to the Pro Bowl, man. I think that's a slap in the face.
Jason
That
Pierre-Paul, he's looking good too.
Yeah, Pierre Paul and Dominic Sue, those guys has been huge in their front seven right now, man. You can't forget about Levante David right now. I don't know how healthy he is. Um, Shaq Barrett also,
Yep.
huge also. I think very underrated. Defensive back, Carlton Davis. I think he's very underrated. He's gonna have a tough assignment trying to go after Tyreek Hill. So I think it's gonna be a challenge for the defense, but I think they're up for it, man. So I'm giving the nod to Tampa Bay's defense.
Absolutely.
All right, all right. Let's go to our next one, man, and we're gonna go with. I mean, this is pretty much a slam dunk. I know where I'm going with this. I think you're a Tampa Bay fan if you're picking anything else but this. But I'm only doing this because we have to do the checklist because it's only right. And we're going to the tight ends.
Mm.
You got Travis Kelsey, and then you got Gronkowski, Cameron Braid. Who you got?
Kelsey, if you're going, strictly, you know, person by person, then yeah, Kelsey is definitely better than Gronk or Brake. But if you're going by committee, then I think that evens it out. But I still give the edge to Kelsey. But versus either one of those two, definitely Kelsey. He's one of the all-time greats, really. And I think Gronk is an all-time great. It's just he's not where he was right now.
Um, Obviously, it's pretty obvious. I'm giving it to Kelsey. He's the best tight end in the game.
Yep.
His numbers proves it. He has showed up in the playoffs. That's basically Mahomes' favorite target, man. And I'm not even gonna spend too much time on Travis Kelsey. Period.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the running backs. Who you got?
Oh man, that's Tampa Bay. Like that, it's the same thing that you just mentioned with the Chiefs. With the Chiefs, with the tight ends, it's Travis Kelsey, easy. With the running backs, it's Tampa Bay, easy. They actually have a run game. The Chiefs have had games where they've had a decent run game, but overall, the Chiefs don't really have that much of a run game. It's like they use the running to use up a down. Whenever I'm watching the Chiefs play, whenever they run the ball, it's like, oh, they decided to, just run the ball and use up a play and try to keep the defense honest. I just that's one thing that could really, really hurt the Chiefs, and that's why the Chiefs are not good at grinding out the clock all the time. They can do it with short passes and all that stuff, but running the ball is when you really can put your foot on somebody's throat and just run it down their throat and be like, "Hey, you can't do anything about this." And the Chiefs can't do it. The Bucks, I think, have a better shot of doing that than the Chiefs.
All right. um. All right. Let's go to. Okay. Before I go.
I like Leonard Fournette too.
before I go, I'm definitely picking the Bucks in this one again. Um, you got Fournette, you got Ronald Jones Jr. They've been better running the ball. They've been huge for this Tampa Bay offense. Also, it opens up the play action game for Tom Brady, and Tom Brady. Anybody knows Tom? He loves that play action fake, man. It opens up a lot for this team when Brady could play action fake.
Hey, I
Um,
love that you just said that. Listen to this. A lot of people are not getting this, okay? On offense for the Chiefs, you know what they're going to do, but you can't stop it because they're so good at it. And I'm talking about the passing game. With the Bucks, you think you know what they're going to do, but they set you up for something else, and that's how they trick you. The Bucks can run the ball and then play action pass. So the question is, which one of those, which one of those play styles will be better? I think that's the big question that a lot of people are not looking at. Is it going to be the Chiefs? Hey, they can pass it and you can't stop it, or is it going to be the Bucks? They can set it up with the run and hit you with the play action.
yeah. All right. Yeah. Jones Jr. Fournette. They've been running the ball better. That's opened up the play action for Brady, and the Chiefs. They just been struggling to run the ball, man. Pretty simple. And I'm definitely taking taking Tampa Bay in this one. I'm edging this to Tampa Bay again once again. All right, let's go to the wide receivers now. Who you got?
Well, for the Chiefs, they do have Tyreek Hill, and he is awesome. But I like the Tampa Bay wide receiver by committee. Godwin, Evans, Miller, Antonio Brown, Johnson. They have a lot of playmakers on the wide receivers. And the thing with the Chiefs, though, is they don't necessarily have to have guys like that when you have Pat Mahomes. But if we're talking position by position, wide receivers, I'll give that to the Bucks. I'm not saying the Bucks have a better passing game. The difference could be Pat Mahomes because I do think the Bucks have better wide receivers.
Um, Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, and then on the other side you got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Scotty Miller. It's easy for me. I'm going with Tampa Bay, man. Are you kidding me? I'm going with Tampa Bay in this one, man. Um, I think that with the with Tyreek Hill, you could I think you could make somebody else besides Tyreek Hill beat you. I know that they got Travis Kelsey, but as far as the wide receivers go, if they could stop Tyreek Hill and contain them, and they make somebody like a Demarcus Robinson, oh, I forgot about Sammy Watkins too. Sammy Watkins or McCole Hardman beat you. I think the Bucks will be okay with that. I wouldn't be okay if Tyreek Hill is sprinting the after the field, and Tyreek Hill is huge when it comes out yards after the catch, because nobody does better when it comes yards after the catch by better than Tyreek Hill.
Hey, X is saying Brown might not play, and that's fine. I just threw his name out there because it's recognizable. He's not really all that big of a deal. I like Goodwin, Evans, Miller, and Johnson over Antonio Brown, but he adds depth to it. But yeah, he might not play. Good comment, X. I like that.
But when it comes to Tampa Bay, man, it's like, dude, how are you gonna contain these two when it comes to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin? And then on top of that, I don't think Antonio Brown plays. If he does play, that's a huge domino effect. If he does play, and don't sleep on Scotty Miller. Scotty Miller had that huge touchdown reception against Green Bay. So I'm rolling with Tampa Bay in this one, man. I get the edge from they get the edge from me. All right, let's go I totally forgot. Let's go to special teams, man.
Mm.
I know you mentioned the kickers, so special teams. Who you got?
Well, kick returners, I got to give that to the Chiefs. They have two guys in Pringle and Hardwin. Can't pronounce his name, but both of them they average over 20 yards per return. Now, the Bucks they have a guy and he does 21 yards per return, but he's hit and miss. I think the Chiefs can get better field position, and I think that's an underrated characteristic that people don't realize with the Chiefs. I think they can get. I mean, they don't get great field position, but decent field position. And of course, when you shorten the field, that's always going to help.
Yeah, man. I definitely have the Chiefs in this one. I'm checking this one to them. With their returners with Hardman. I think he returns it now. I think he had that huge fumble. He was so pissed off and disappointed himself in that game against Buffalo, where he came back and said, "Hey, man." And Mahomes was really he showed he was really supportive towards it, man. Like he kept him there. He said, "Hey, man, you're gonna make another big play. Don't worry about." Next thing you know, he had a 40-yard run, and then he caught a touchdown reception, and everything was all forgotten afterwards. But I like the Chiefs special teams. And then on top of that, I give the kicker the huge advantage with Harrison Butker. So I'm going special teams Chiefs in this one.
Yeah, overall Chiefs. I agree.
All right. All right. So X, he's been with us the whole time towards this show. And he says that he thinks McCole Hardman is gonna be the X factor in this game.
That's possible. Definitely.
Yeah, I think he can be. Good point, X.
I
All
think
right, let's
more
go to
so in the return game than at the wide receiver role. I'll put it like that.
yeah. All right, let's go to our next one. Our next one that we're gonna be checking off. Oh man. Oh, it doesn't get any better than this. The next one we're checking off. It's Tom Brady. It's Patrick Mahomes. Who gets the advantage?
If you're talking straight up, I have to say Pat Mahomes. The dude just he sees the field differently from everybody else. The game is slow to him. Whenever I watch him, I'm like, what in the world were these college teams thinking whenever they used him the way they used him? Like, and we all know that the NFL game is so much faster than the college game. So if the NFL game is so slow, the college game was slow for him. So I just, as far as pure athletic ability and even decision making, I would have to go with Pat Mahomes because we're forgetting he's had zero interceptions in the postseason. How many has Tom Brady had? Several. So as far as pure athletic ability and decision making, I gotta go with Pat Mahomes. As much as I think Tom Brady's the GOAT, I think Pat Mahomes is the better quarterback.
So for the Super Bowl, you're giving this to Patrick Mahomes?
As the better quarterback? Yeah.
Oh, wow, man. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
But it's not gonna come down to that.
Okay, so when it comes to when it comes to this when it comes to this one, it's it's pretty easy for me. I know where I was going with it when I was checking off this list, and there's no argument should be made with this one. The advantage that I'm giving it to is I'm giving it to Tom Brady. Are you kidding me, man? One thing that I've learned is never bet against Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. And I'm going with Tom Brady in this one. He gets a huge advantage to me over Patrick Mahomes. And yeah, he gets a huge advantage for me over Patrick Mahomes because he's been there, man. This is like this is no this is not a first time running around for Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady has been in 20% of the Super Bowls that's been played. So I'm giving it to Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady nearly holds every single record statistically in the quarterback position right now. When it comes to playing in the Super Bowl, and you have the Super Bowl in not not Tampa Bay, in Tampa Bay. Are you kidding me? I'm giving it to Tom Brady, man. Tommy touchdowns, the GOAT, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. And I give the huge advantage to Tom Brady.
I can't totally disagree with that. I think what I separated was, number one, Pat Mahomes is the reigning Super Bowl champ right now. Number two, Pat Mahomes had the better stats, this past year. The Chiefs had the better offense. Now, if you're going to add in experience and how many Super Bowls, then yeah, it's going to be Tom Brady. But on pure athletic ability and how well they can operate their offense, I would have to give it to Patrick Mahomes.
No, I'm giving it to Tom Brady, man. You look at this guy, he goes to a new team, no training camp, no practice with these players, especially with the COVID restrictions. And then you go to somebody like Patrick Mahomes. He has all the chemistry in the world with those players because obviously they been playing for quite some time, and then Tom Brady's been able to do what he was able to do. Oh, let's not forget he threw more touchdowns than Patrick Mahomes. By the way, Mahomes only had 38. Mister Brady had 40, and then he was dealing through injuries on the offensive side with his offensive line, his wide receivers, with Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette. Man, give this guy some credit. I'm going with Tom Brady.
I will say this: he better not throw any interceptions in the game because Kansas City will make him eat them. So he needs to sure that part of his game up because the Kansas City Chiefs are a completely different animal than the Green Bay Packers. They can score at will. If you give them extra possessions, you're done.
Oh, but also I wanted to add this before we go, and we could go on this for over and over. For some reason, I think you want to pick the Chiefs in this game because you seem like you have a problem with Tom Brady right now, man. But
absolutely not. I'm just singing the praises of Pat Mahomes, man. He is great.
Okay.
But not the GOAT. He's great, but not the GOAT.
Okay, so the last time that they played, Tampa Bay should have won that game. Brady wasn't able to get the ball back. If Brady was gonna get the ball back, we know that what was gonna happen in that game. But and ever since then, ever since that loss, Tampa Bay has ripped off 7 straight wins, and this is a completely different team compared they played during towards the middle of the season. So
now you're talking. Now you're talking, man.
Yeah, so this is a completely different team, man. So I would be definitely scared, be very afraid if I'm Patrick Mahomes because you dealing with the GOAT this time, man. And the GOAT's playing on a high level. All right, man. So let's do this now, man. let's give our Super Bowl predictions, man, to wrap up the show today. Let's our Super Bowl predictions. So I'll let you start it off first.
Well, I do think this game will be a shootout. So it's going to come down to who can stop the other team in the last minute. And I don't think the Bucks will be able to stop the Chiefs in the last minute. I think the Bucks will have the ball, and that defense won't be able to stop the Chiefs. But you know what will? Time. I think the Chiefs will run out of time because I think Tom Brady will engineer one of his last minute drives. The Chiefs will get the ball back with, say, I don't know, 40 seconds left, and that defense will be good enough. Not great. They're not going to stop the Chiefs, nothing like that, but they're going to be good enough to where time will run out on the Chiefs. I think Tampa Bay's defense is slightly better than the Chiefs. I think they have a better running game than the Chiefs. I think Tom Brady has more experience than Mahomes, so that last second drive is going to be cake to him. He's going to toy with Mahomes and give him, 30, 40 seconds left. It's not going to be enough. The Bucks win the Super Bowl 41-35.
Yeah, man. So just those of you that don't know, I posted on my Instagram story so you guys do know. I originally picked Tampa Bay to go to the Super Bowl. I didn't just pick them to win it. I didn't just pick them to go to the Super Bowl. I picked them to win the Super Bowl also, and so did GBD also. So I'll want to give credit to him. But I originally picked it, and um, before I go with my prediction, I'm gonna post True's predictions really quick since he's not able to be with us, and he says it's gonna be Chiefs 33-31
That doesn't even make
over.
sense.
And then he says his Super Bowl MVP will be Patrick Mahomes. All right, so with that being said, um, I'm not betting against Tom Brady, man. I am not. I just can't do it, man. There's no way I can't do it. I couldn't do it when he went against Breeze. I couldn't do it when he went against Rodgers. And I'm not gonna do it now going against Patrick Mahomes, man. I think the Chiefs are feeling themselves a little bit too much. This is just a great story right now for Tom Brady. You leave Belichick. People thought you couldn't do it. People thought Belichick was the guy. People thought you were still a scrub, washed up. You're too old. But guess what? The dude threw for 40 touchdowns. He's has changed the culture in Tampa Bay around. Is the vibe is completely different, and then you're the first team to ever do it, to be in the Super Bowl and play in your own city, man. That's just ridiculous.
And winning the
What's
title back to back is very tough.
and what story is better than you beating two of the all-time greats, and then you beating a guy that people is it's they're even they're trying to put him in the Hall of Fame class right now as an all-time great. So, man, I think this is huge for the GOAT, man, and I'm not betting against him, man. I got Tampa Bay winning this one. I'm going to say 37-27 Tampa Bay wins it, and Tom Brady rises off to the sunset as the Super Bowl MVP. And it's just too many weapons, and I don't think the Chiefs defense will be able to contain it.
Well, X earlier said Hardman was going to be the X factor. I think time is going to be the X factor. I think Brady is going to do that last minute clutch touchdown drive. He'll leave a little bit of time, just enough to mess with Mahomes, but time's going to run out, and the Bucks will be champs. I agree with you 100%. But I think it's going to be a really good game. I really do.
All right, man. So those are is our Super Bowl predictions. Make sure you check out as we drop
Oh,
the video.
hey, you didn't announce your MVP, neither did I. I'm going with Tom Brady. Who are you going with?
Tom Brady.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right. All right. So those are our Super Bowl predictions. So just to wrap everything up for tonight's show. We won't be able to do a battle rap portion segment because time is catching up on us, and the person coming to fill in will not be able to make it. But I will be doing a pre-record segment for our battle rap portion, and we'll be dropping it next later this week. So with that being said, it's time to wrap up tonight's show. And I'm gonna let GBD give his shout outs really quick.
First of all, I appreciate everybody in the MBS Central family. A lot of great dudes. X, praying for you, man. I know you're dealing with injury, but I appreciate y'all inviting me on here. I'm the host of Bragging Rights. I'm here every Thursday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Pacific Time. And don't forget to check out my YouTube channel, Gold and Blue Dude. Videos, college football or college basketball, every stinking day.
All right. Shout out to GBD, man. Make sure you go subscribe to his YouTube channel. Make sure you check out his show tomorrow night on the MBS Central Network, only on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, on the MBS Central channel. But yeah, definitely shout out to you, and with the short notice of being able to come on. Shout out to X. Hopefully you get better, and the best of luck to you. Have a full recovery. Shout out to the whole team, man. I know we going through some things right now. That's all I'm gonna say. The MBS Central team, we're going through some things right now, but we'll be fine. We'll be okay. Me and GBD, we're holding the fort down for the brand right now, man. So with that being said, man, shout out to everybody. Thank you for supporting the show, tuning in every single week. But with that being said, I'm gonna see you guys next week, and we got a huge show next week, man. We'll be recapping the Super Bowl, and we got some more special guests coming on. So with that being said, I am Keo. That's GBD, and it is time to go. And we'll see you guys next week. And enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody.
Let's go.